What's going on, guys? Last time we spoke about how to get yourself deeper into your squats and how to improve that squat mobility through creating some mobility in the hip. Now today we're going to touch on some activation stuff, but before that, let's get that intro going. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Move Better Mondays, filmed on Sundays, and today we are talking about activation exercises, specifically those that are going to help you squat better. So, continuing on where we left off last week, where we spoke about mobility, activation is really going to be that last piece of the puzzle that's going to help stabilize your hip, stabilize your spine, and really allow you to control your body as you drop into that squat position. Now today we're going to go over the 3 exercises that I really feel are going to help you out the most, and these are going to be the exercises that I use the most with my clients and that have really been able to help a lot of them squat a lot better. Now the important thing to remember is that with every single one of these exercises, it really comes down to how well you execute them. If you're not doing them properly, you might not be feeling them in the right places and therefore not getting the benefits that you're gonna need to improve your squat ability. Also, I picked a lot of these exercises based on how the majority of you spend most of your days, which is in this tight seated position and not kind of standing up and moving around. So we really need to activate a lot of those muscles that are gonna be kind of suffering from this natural position that's going to be kept for the majority of our day. Okay, so let's just head over here and get that thing done. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is the hip bridge. Now, the hip bridge is basically a posterior chain exercise, but the reason I like it so much is because it also really targets the core and is guaranteeing that if we're doing it properly, our core is firing the way we want it to, and it's really linking up properly with that posterior chain, so the glutes and the hamstrings, which are huge prime movers in that squat. So what your hip bridge is going to look like is we're basically going to be doing a single leg hip bridge and kind of contracting our knee back and pulling our other knee back to us so that we're shutting off that opposite side. I'm going to show you what that's going to look like, but I wanted to mention that there are a lot of different variations for the single leg hip bridge or the hip bridge in general. The reason I'm going with a single leg one of this type is because I want to cut off the other side completely and make sure that only one side is firing at a time. And the reason I'm doing that is because if there is an issue on either side, I'm going to be able to address it properly. If I go with 2 legs, or if I use a 2-leg hip bridge, what that's going to do is that's going to allow my body to kind of compensate for the other side that's not working, and it might be able to kind of cheat through that movement, which is something I don't want to do. So I'm going to the single leg to make sure that I'm avoiding that cheating pattern and I'm not going to fall into that kind of trend that I've been in for the entire time. So this is simply what it looks like. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up this camera a little bit. I'm going to basically just take my hands, both my hands, drive them into my left leg when I'm on the ground, and I'm going to use my right leg to generate all the force and come up. So when I come down, making sure that I get that nice angle at my knee, taking both hands, drive them into my knee here. From here, I'm looking to make sure I keep a nice alignment from my toe to knee, hip, and shoulder, all a nice alignment. Keeping my head down, driving into each other, and coming up and controlling the entire way back down. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that my core is firing the entire time as well. I can't just let up on my core, because if I do, basically what's going to be happening is I'm just going to allow that entire muscle group to kind of cut off and take a break. So the second exercise we're going to be doing today is a resisted dead bug. So all you're going to need is a squat rack and an elastic to get that done. So what you're going to want to do with the resisted dead bug is essentially just try to maintain that neutral spine and make sure that our core is properly engaged while our legs dropping. So with this exercise, we're really trying to train the interior portion of our hip, so when we do our squat, we're getting a nice equal balance between the front and the back. So doing this exercise is really simple. All you need to do is maintain this contraction by tugging a bit. It doesn't have to be really aggressive. Just a mild contraction, a mild tension is going to allow your core to contract properly and be able to maintain that neutral spine. So from here, I'm just dropping my leg down, tapping my heel, and coming back up. Now, if this is too hard, you can always go bent leg and just tap the bent heel, come back up. So this exercise is really going to take the front, the bridge takes the back, and now what we want to do is we want to make sure that when we're standing, our hips and our external rotators, basically that glute med, that's really going to contribute to the ability to stabilize the knee and move the knee around properly so that we're able to drop into that squat well, is what we're going to need to work on next. So let's go take a look at that. So the third exercise we're gonna work on is simply going to need just this little mini band, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna strap this around your knee. Now don't worry if you do not have any of these mini bands, I will put a link in the description below so you guys can pick one up yourselves. Really inexpensive but super useful. So what you're gonna need to do is grab this elastic, put it around both your knees, and then from here I'm stepping back into this kind of half squat position. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid this elastic from pulling my knees in. I'm trying to pull that resistance back out while maintaining a straight and forward alignment with my feet. So from here, I'm taking small steps out to the side and then coming back the other way. Now, if you notice that my steps were really small, I'm not taking giant steps and letting my legs slap back together. I'm basically taking small 6-inch steps, and that's allowing me to maintain the contraction, maintain the tension of the elastic on my knee, and make sure that my glute med and my hip muscles are actually firing properly. So this is basically the third exercise that you're gonna wanna throw into that mix, and doing all three of those exercises should really help your ability to squat deep, which is what you want. Now, they may not always work, but the benefit of them is pretty much going to be very apparent when you start doing these exercises, especially if you've never done them before, because you're going to be a lot more stable, and you may just need to add one or two tiny pieces to that puzzle, but these three exercises should generally take care of most of everything that you're going to be dealing with. Thank you for watching. If you guys haven't subscribed below, definitely subscribe now. Click that button. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next week.